Imagine waking up and seeing $10,000 hit your bank account every month without having to lift a finger. Sounds like a dream, right? But what if I told you it's not only possible but achievable through real estate investing? Stick around and I'll show you exactly how it's done. Most people think of real estate investing as something for the ultra-wealthy or the lucky few. But that couldn't be further from the truth. Whether you've got a small budget or a huge one, you can build a steady stream of passive income. I'm about to break down exactly how one investor turned a small portfolio into a cash-generating machine that brings in $10,000 a month. We'll cover the key tactics, step-by-step strategies, and most importantly, the mistakes you need to avoid if you want to replicate this. So grab a pen, take notes, and let's get into it. Here's the things. Real estate investing isn't a get-rich-quick game. In fact, a lot of people get started thinking it's going to be an easy ride, only to get frustrated when things don't go as planned. They buy a property, rent it out, and wait for the money to roll in, only to be hit with expensive repairs, tenant issues, or worse, no tenants at all. The challenge isn't just finding the right property. It's building the right system that works for you and your financial goals. So why does this happen? Why do so many people fail to generate the kind of income they expect? The problem isn't the real estate itself, it's how they approach it. And that's what we're going to explore today. Before jumping into the specifics, let's take a moment to understand the concept of passive income in real estate. Passive income simply means money that comes in without requiring you to be actively involved in the day-to-day work of earning it. And while real estate can be a great source of passive income, it's important to understand that it's not hands-off from the start. Building a real estate portfolio that generates $10,000 a month in passive income requires upfront work, both in terms of research and effort. This effort doesn't just go into picking the right properties. It also involves creating a sustainable system that works for you and understanding what goes into long-term financial planning. So let's break down the first few steps that the investor used to set up their system. The investor we're learning from didn't start with high-end properties in fancy locations. They began with multi-family properties, a more affordable option that also offers higher cash flow. Multi-family properties like duplexes, triplexes, and apartment buildings provide multiple streams of income from a single property. This is key because if one tenant moves out or stops paying, you're still bringing in cash from the others. The advantage here is that multifamily properties are generally much more efficient at producing cash flow. And the investor quickly realized that it's all about scaling. The more units you have, the higher your income potential becomes. By the time they scaled up to a portfolio of several multifamily properties, they were able to enjoy significant monthly income without the constant stress of worrying about vacancies. Now, let's talk about location. Choosing the right market is everything in real estate. In the case of our investor, they didn't randomly buy properties anywhere. They were very strategic. They focused on high-demand rental markets, places with job growth, good schools, low vacancy rates, and high demand for rental properties. This meant that their units were always in demand, which kept rent flowing and vacancies low. Let me be clear. You cannot afford to ignore the power of location. It's the foundation upon which your success is built. Here's a big misconception in real estate. You need to have a massive amount of money up front to get started. In reality, leveraging financing is one of the smartest ways to get into the game without draining your savings. The investor we're learning from used a combination of traditional mortgages and creative financing strategies to fund their deals. One of the most effective ways to scale quickly is by using the BRRRR method: buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat. This method is ideal for anyone looking to build a portfolio without needing a huge amount of capital up front. Here's how it works. Buy, you buy a property that's below market value, often because it needs some work. Rehab, you fix it up, increasing its value. Rent, once it's fixed up, you rent it out, generating monthly income. Refinance, after the rehab is complete, you refinance the property at its new higher value. Repeat, you pull out some of the equity and use it to buy the next property. This cycle lets you scale your portfolio quickly. The investor was able to take the money they pulled out from the refinanced properties and use it to purchase even more properties, constantly increasing their monthly cash flow. But as great as this method is, there are risks involved. it requires careful planning. If you underestimate rehab costs or run into delays, you could end up with a property that's not making as much money as you anticipated. The key is to be conservative with your numbers. Always overestimate rehab costs and budget accordingly. The goal is to leave room for surprises and avoid putting yourself in a financial bind. Once you've acquired several properties, managing them can become overwhelming. It's not just about collecting rent checks. You'll be dealing with tenant turnover, maintenance requests, and possible evictions. If you're not careful, your passive income can quickly turn into an active job. That's why one of the smartest moves our investor made was to hire a property management company. At first, they tried to manage everything themselves. They screened tenants, took care of maintenance, and handled all communication. But eventually the workload became too much to handle on their own. That's when they made the decision to hire a professional property management company. A good property manager will handle almost everything for you, from marketing your properties and screening tenants to dealing with maintenance requests and rent collection. By outsourcing these tasks, you free up your time to focus on growing your portfolio even further. Another benefit of hiring a property manager is that they bring experience and local knowledge. They'll know how to price your units to attract tenants, what kind of maintenance is required in your area, and how to handle difficult tenant situations. So while hiring a property management company does eat into your profits, it's often worth it in the long run, especially as your portfolio grows. The key to maintaining a steady stream of passive income is creating systems that reduce your day-to-day involvement. For the investor in our story, one of the systems they built early on was an automated rent collection system. This allowed tenants to pay rent online, making it easier for them and for the investor. Rent collection became hands-off, and this small change saved the investor a lot of time and stress. In addition to rent collection, they also set up systems for handling maintenance requests, communicating with tenants, and even handling tenant complaints. By outsourcing these tasks, the investor didn't have to worry about being on call 24/7. They were able to focus on finding new properties and scaling their portfolio. Another system they created was a strong network of contractors and repair professionals. The key to making passive income a reality is having people you trust to handle maintenance and repairs. This investor made sure they had a reliable team that could respond quickly and efficiently when issues came up. They built relationships with contractors who were willing to give them priority treatment, helping to minimize downtime and keep their properties in top shape. When you first get started, it's easy to feel like you're in the weeds. You're dealing with the ups and downs of property ownership, and it feels like there's always something that needs attention. But as your portfolio grows, so do your opportunities. The investor we're following wasn't satisfied with just a few properties. They wanted to scale. This meant finding bigger deals and using their existing properties as leverage to acquire even more. Over time, they moved from duplexes and triplexes to larger apartment buildings. The key here is leveraging your current equity. As your properties increase in value and you pay down the mortgage, you can use the equity to buy additional properties, increasing your cash flow. Scaling is also about diversifying your portfolio. The investor didn't just focus on one type of property or location, they spread their investments out across different areas, creating a buffer against market fluctuations. This helped to ensure that their income remained steady, even if one particular market faced a downturn. So here's the moment that changed everything for this investor. After building a steady foundation, leveraging creative financing, and hiring a property management team, they realized they had built an income stream that didn't just cover their bills, it replaced their full-time income. That moment of financial freedom, when they no longer had to depend on a paycheck, is what made it all worth it. But remember, this didn't happen overnight. It took time, effort, and strategy to get to the point where their real estate investments brought in a consistent $10,000 a month. Let's break down what we've learned today. Understand your market. Find areas with high demand and low vacancy rates. Leverage financing. Use methods like the BRRRR strategy to grow without needing huge amounts of capital. Build a reliable team. Outsource property management, maintenance, and repairs to scale without getting overwhelmed. Create efficient systems. Automate processes like rent collection and maintenance to make your passive income truly hands-off. Scale smartly. Don't just buy more properties, leverage your equity and diversify to increase cash flow. With these strategies, you can build your own real estate portfolio and generate the kind of passive income that gives you financial freedom. Ready for top real estate investing secrets? Subscribe now and get the game-changing info in the description.